So I went out and purchased this Chamberlin MyQ intelligent garage door opener kit that interacts with Google and Alexa, and got it all set up. And towards the end, I had it functioning within the app, which was great. You hit the button and the garage door opens, and then you hit the button and the garage door closes. I was like, all right, last step, let's integrate this with Google Home so I can say, okay, my garage door. So as I'm recording this video, I can't say okay, Google, because if I do, my phone's going to listen and it's going to screw up my recording. So from now on, I'm going to say okay, G when I'm referring to that command. So I go to link my Google account to the Chamberlin application and realize, wait a second, this is a premium feature, $1 per month? I mean, yeah, it's only $1 a month. It's not very expensive, but it's the principle. I've never seen another smart application charge money to get that kind of connectivity. It's really a marketing bullet in my mind, so they're getting to promote that they work with Google, right? It's way better than not working with Google. Why charge me, the consumer who bought your $70 garage door opener, money to use it monthly forever? It's pretty crazy. So that aggravated me. This thing costs $70 and they want $1 a month in addition to that to work with Google like it says on the box. So that sent me down a rabbit hole of figuring out another way to do this without a subscription fee. And eventually I came upon a great solution, so I'm going to talk about that later on in the video. First I want to talk about the pros of the Chamberlin system. We already know the cons, the subscription fees, plus it's a really weird command because it's not directly through Google. You have to give it the command like, okay G, tell MyQ to open the garage door. Like, that's a little lengthy of a command. I really don't like that. It should just be okay G, open the garage door, okay G, close the garage door. Alright, simple. Anyhow, let's move on and talk about the pros of the Chamberlin system. And don't mind my garage. I know it needs new siding and it's not very finished inside. It's a detached garage. Anyhow, let's take a look. Here's the Chamberlin system installed. So here's the box. Smart garage, great. MyQ probably says get your app, works with Google, all that fun stuff. Now the control panel here on the wall. Alright, there it is. Plugged in, DC power down here. The pros. I'm going to close the garage to show you this. Okay, the garage door is closed and we're in the garage now. First advantage, the Chamberlin system has this sensor. Alright, it attaches to the door. Based on the position, if it's vertical, it knows for a fact that that garage door is closed. When I open the garage, it's going to move to the horizontal position and know that the garage door is open. Great, you know, for safety purposes and for the absolute knowledge that your garage door is open or closed. I'm not really looking for that. I know if my garage door is open or closed. I really just want to give it the verbal command, open or close. Other advantages. When you go into the app, which I can't do right now, but if you play with this you'll know, and I'll just do my best to explain it. What's going to happen is when you give it the command to open the door, this thing is going to start blinking white light out. It's going to give you a warning for about 10 seconds, letting you know that the garage door is about to open or the garage door is about to close. And I guess the thought process behind that is for additional safety, right? You give the garage the command to close and someone's standing under the door, you don't want it to crush them. At first thought, sure, that's a great feature. At second thought, it's redundant because every garage door opener has an infrared sensor at the bottom here. Here's mine, goes across. If something's standing there or walking through, the garage door is going to stop closing and it's going to go back up. So it's a redundant safety feature in my opinion. Okay, so those are the two pros. Absolute knowledge that the door is closed or that it's open, and a blinky white light letting you know to get out of the way that it's about to close or open. Okay, in my opinion, both of those are not for me, especially when I have to pay a subscription fee. Absolutely just not necessary in my application. Maybe for you it might be different. I'm going to show you a super simple and ultra cheap way to take care of this. This is a PCB made in China. It essentially is a Wi-Fi integrated circuit that connects to your Wi-Fi, 2.4 or 5 gigahertz FYI. It has a relay here that has the ability to switch up to 30 volts DC, 10 amps, or 250 volts AC, 10 amps. Right, so pretty decent sized relay here that you can control as far as power supplies go. It's got a button here to go into learning mode so you can synchronize with the app. And essentially all this thing does is it connects to this app, which I'll show you in a second, and lets you control whatever is connected to these screw posts over here. So first of all, you've got to give it 5 volts DC, which, if you didn't know, is the voltage that USB provides. Right? So you've got USB going in, giving it 5 volts. Comes with an adapter in this case. Then you've got these posts over here. Now these posts can be connected to a switch that's normally open or normally closed. Now your garage door is a normally open switch, which means there's no connection until you push the button, which it momentarily makes a connection and then releases it back to the normally open position. So once you get this all configured, it's pretty straightforward, right? What we're going to do is take these spade connectors, the red and black, and we're going to connect them to the same connectors that our manual wired remote is on in the garage. So it's just like you would be hitting the button to open and close the garage door. This is going to simulate the same thing, these 2 spade connectors. It's going to give that momentary close when I hit in the app, open the garage door, close the garage door. So here's my app. And you can see here I have the aromatherapy on the same type of device in the master bedroom. But anyways, here's the garage door. And if I go to it, you see you have some options here. And this is a great platform, by the way. But if I hit open here, watch this. I'm going to hit on, which means open in this case. You're going to see the relay click, or you're going to hear the relay click, and you're going to see a visual cue. You see that? Now it's open. You want to close it? It does it again. So it's just like you're hitting a button, but with the app. Well, on my way to the garage, I thought I'd throw in an added bonus. Right here in the corner in my kitchen up there is my Google Home. So I'm going to tell you what it would say if I tried to use what's installed in the garage right now. Okay, Google, tell my Q to open the garage door.
Okay, here's my cue.
You don't have an active subscription to this premium service. Please activate your subscription on the MyQ Services website.
I'm sorry, my friend, but I won't be activating any services or paying your crazy subscription fees. I'll be returning this to Home Depot where it was purchased. So the old system is going out, and our new system is going in. This is my garage door opener. It's a, I don't know, 4-year-old or so Chamberlain. It's got the battery backup. You can see over there, it's got the MyQ, well, under there, stamp for their intelligent products and whatnot. So I messed around with this for a few minutes off camera to figure out how best to handle this particular opener. First, if you open the unit up, you'll see up there, you've got your wiring connections. Alright, and those are for the sensors and for that panel switch over there. But it's a little more complicated than that. I just don't have a manual switch entry point in here where I can run those 2 wires in my smart PCB I showed you earlier. So shorting any of these is not going to get the result you're looking for as far as I've tested, but found an easier way. So if your garage door opener does have the ability to put just a manual simple push button switch, just hook those spade connectors up in the kit to there and you'll be good to go. This Chamberlain with all its fancy stuff has this panel, right? And this panel, you have your light button that turns on and off your light, right? And then you've got this, which opens and closes the garage door. Now this is being done in a more complicated way than a simple, normally open, push to close momentarily button. Okay. On the back, you've got 2 screws and you've got this PCB. Great. You can't bridge those 2 wires up there because there's a lot more than just a normally open push button switch going on through this PCB. There's digital information traveling over those wires. This guy can get his status updates, you can control the light and all that other stuff. Well, if you look underneath on my model, yours is probably easier. I'll show you what I have to do for mine. If you lift this flap up here, which you normally have to do to mount it, you'll see the mechanical action that comes with pushing the switch. It's this post and this post are pushing these momentary push button switches in there, right? And at first I thought, oh great, it probably wants you to push both of those at once simultaneously to get the garage door to open and close, some kind of like make it extra complicated thing by Chamberlain to stop people from doing what I'm doing. But no, I was wrong. It's simple. So if I just push one of those, the garage door closes, and if I push that same one again with my piece of wire here, the garage door opens back up again. Great. So that's what I need. So unfortunately with my model you're gonna have to solder 2 wires. Okay, you may have a simpler garage door opener than me. An older one would probably be better. And what I'm gonna do is take this PCB off and just solder to those 2 jump pins, which I've already tested with this piece of wire. When I short them to verify, it just opens and closes just like I want. So I'm gonna take this thing off the wall, solder those 2 points, and we'll give it a run. Okay, so here we are. Soldering iron is to temperature. Here's our PCB for the opener we took from the garage. Over here we have what we're wiring into it. Now, I really wish I could fit this PCB inside of this Chamberlin housing, because that would just be awesome. It would be fully integrated, bypassing their own system under one housing. But unfortunately, this relay and these posts are just too chunky, and I don't feel like relocating those off this PCB. So I guess it'll have to be an external box next to the switch. But that would be really cool to kind of be a big screw you to Chamberlin if I was able to put this PCB right inside their housing, all in one nice unit. But oh well, let's get to work. So we gotta fully remove these 2 screws. Take out our PCB, which is full of spider nests. Hopefully no living spiders. Now we can see who we're trying to work with here. Let's get rid of these spider webs. You can choose. Let me get something to point with. This guy or this guy, they both do the same thing. This button or this button. These 2 posts at the top are where we need to solder to. Alright, what are we going to do here? We're going to cut these spade connectors off because unfortunately my garage door opener isn't that easy. If you have an old one, you probably have a push button switch. You just put these 2 spades on there and bam, you're done. But not me, so I'm going to take those off. And then we're going to strip these. Flux on these bad boys. Good to go. This one looks good to me, but just to be sure so I don't go out in the cold again. And we're good. I tested it by seeing there's no short between there. When I hold these there and press the button, it goes. So now, when I press that button in the app, or give it the Google Voice command, a trusty new board here that I explained before will send the momentary close just like this switch would normally do by pushing it. Normally when you push this switch, you're closing that circuit momentarily. Instead, this is going to say the same thing electronically by using the relay. So let's close this thing up and move on. And what I'm going to do, what I always like to do here, is get my hot glue gun. Because whenever you do something like this, it's inevitable these wires are going to get wiggled around, and, you know, better to make the stress point some other place than where you just soldered. And if you don't have faith in your soldering and you don't have a multimeter to check, you should probably go install this all before you hot glue that. Alright, that's that. Okay, we're back. So I also didn't show you before, but mine also had this black paper over the back of it, which is nice because it reminds you red, white, where your old wires went. One of them's got a red stripe on it, one's got white, so you know where it goes. Okay. powered on, but as you can see here, it's now powered and beginning to connect back on to my Wi-Fi network, hopefully, so we can do some fun testing. Okay, we are in the app. Let's go to garage door and hit the button. Bam! There we go. Garage door is opening. Now let's try closing. Perfect. Okay, here's the moment of truth. Let's see if this works. Okay, close the garage door.
Sure, turning the garage door off.
Well, Google says turning off, but it listened, so let's go make sure it closed, and we'll come back real quick and open it again. Okay, it's all done and set up and good to go. Got it working smoothly now. I did run into a bit of a hiccup though. I noticed something strange. Within the actual app for EWeLink, when I hit open, the garage door does its momentary close and opens. When I hit close and click it, the garage door does the same thing, momentary push button, and it closes just like I wanted, right? Well, when I synced it to Google and I gave it the verbal commands, OK G, open the garage door, it would open, but then when I said OK G, close the garage door, it wouldn't close. And then I would say, open the garage door, and it would do the momentary push again and close. But that would be really confusing. So basically I'd have to say open the garage door all the time in order to get the action I want, which is push the button. Right, so this was frustrating because it was working in the app and not working with voice recognition. So I went on the forums and I couldn't find a solution to get the device to mechanically operate the way it needs to through verbal commands. It might be a bug, I don't know, but I did find a workaround. So basically I went into the Google Home app and then under custom routines, which is basically where you set it to like good morning, good night, and I'll show you that in just a second when I stop recording here. What I did was basically tricked it and created a custom routine, which says when I say OK G, open the garage door, it does what it normally does. That was always working, right? But then when I say OK G, close the garage door, I told it to actually, action-wise, do the open function, right? So when I say close, it's doing the same thing as open, so basically that works for me. As long as I can say, OK, G, close the garage door, and it does the action, I'm happy, right? Because I won't get confused saying open all the time or turn on all the time. I can say close the garage door or turn off the garage door, and it'll actually do the open command. And I'll show you what I did in just a second in the application. Okay, so here's what I had to do in the Google app to get this to work with the open command and the close command. So you go into routines, and then in routine, you can hit manage routines. Once you hit manage routines, you see I have this one called close the garage door. Well, if I go into that, you can see what I did was, under my assistant should, I'm going to go into settings so you can see what I did. Where is it? Garage door, and you see I told it to turn on. So every time I say close the garage door, as far as the action is concerned, it's saying turn on, which I know does the momentary push like I need to get the door to cycle, open or closed. So whether I say open or whether I say close, it's sending the turn on command, which is exactly what I need. And that's how you need to modify your routine in the app. One more time. Okay. Open the garage door.
Sure, turning on the garage door.
Okay. Close the garage door. Okay, so this mod works with the Chamberlin, obviously, one of the more advanced, newer models like mine, where I had to actually solder those two wires on there. It'll work much easier with older models where you won't even need to solder if you have a mechanical push-button switch on it. You just hook those two spade connectors, like I said, to the same posts or screws that your push-button does, and that'll work even easier than what we did in this video today, no soldering. I hope you like the modifications. If you have any questions, put them in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you liked this video, please of course like it and hit subscribe. I'm looking to get some more subscribers here. I've got some great videos coming up, so if you're interested, hit the subscribe button. Another fun project that required some fun modifications. See you next time.